Welcome to another wonderful session of Dr. Kamini Rao's Masterclass.
It is very important to accept the challenge because I feel that every step that you take, is a challenge.
They always say that if you train hard, then winning is easy. But if you train easy, then winning is hard. Could you elaborate on this?
Nothing in life is easy, or nothing comes free. You have to work extremely, extremely hard to achieve anything. And of course, as I said, Kapil Dev was not just my inspiration; he was an inspiration for a lot of us, fast bowlers, cricketers, and sportsmen. And from there onwards, Nelson Mandela, as I said, when I played for India, when we toured South Africa, I had an opportunity to meet Nelson Mandela. I mean, that was a dream come true for any cricketer. A dream come true is to represent his nation, and more so playing at Lords, which is the mecca for cricket. And meeting Nelson Mandela was bigger than that. So I mean, it was great actually.
Excellent. Nelson Mandela really carved a niche for himself that even people in South Africa, they've got a place there where he stayed in isolation for many, many years, and people still visit that place as a shrine and go and look at the way in which he led his life for many years.
It's called the Robben Island at Cape Town.
Just the island, yes.
So I've been there as well. I've seen that place.
Yes.
So
it's amazing.
Hats off for being there and followed Gandhi to large extent.
Yes. So going to the next thing is about fitness and nutrition. If fame is fickle, and then so is health. I've come across articles that mention you as a gym freak. What is fitness regime that keeps you fit and healthy?
Oh, well, look, fitness is extremely important, whether you're a sportsman or not. I would say you've got to work on your health, work on your fitness. And fitness doesn't mean that you have to only go to the gym. For us, we needed strength to play the sport, and playing sport at a professional level, you need high level of fitness and you need a lot of strength. Strength comes by doing weight training. So that's why we didn't have that culture of going to the gym. We always had to, we were made to run, and that's the culture that we followed. So it came early 2000. This whole fitness culture or the gym culture came early 2000. But in mid 90s to late 90s, we were still pretty primitive, I would say, as far as fitness is concerned. And for us, I mean, whoever was playing at that time, it was just running laps after laps, running long distance, and building your cardio more than the strength. So later on, yes, we had to go and train in our gyms to get more strength. So it is a combination. You have to work on your speed and cardio as well. At the same time, you need to go to the gym and lift weights to build your strength. Having said that, it's not just your running or your gym training. I mean, Surya Namaskar is a great way of keeping yourself fit. Brisk walking can be one more thing. I mean, there's so many ways that you can keep yourself, but everybody, I would say, has to dedicate, say, about an hour, a minimum 1 hour on their fitness. Be it brisk walking, cycling, running, going to the gym, or doing Surya Namaskar or doing yoga. But it is very important for people to spend at least an hour on their fitness. And yes, you spoke about my diet. I have always been a vegetarian throughout. I'm not promoting it, but coming from my background, my culture, so I've always maintained that. And being a vegetarian, no matter what happens, no matter where we tour, whether we get vegetarian food or not, at times we used to struggle when we were traveling in West Indies. in mid 90s, or to New Zealand, it is very difficult to find Indian restaurants. It is very difficult to find vegetarian food on top of it. So somehow I adapted. Few of them couldn't really adapt. Anil Kumble was struggling. V.S. Lakshman, to some extent, was struggling. But I adapted. When I say adapted, I was okay as long as it's vegetarian. It could be Italian vegetarian or Thai vegetarian, Chinese vegetarian, Indian vegetarian. I mean, whatever it is, or Mexican vegetarian. So I adapted accordingly, but made sure that I stayed vegetarian all my life till now.
Which is excellent, because people always feel that you don't get enough of protein if you're a vegetarian, and that protein comes only from animal protein. How far, how wrong we are with that, because you have enough of protein and variety of food in vegetarian, and it can be cooked so well that most of the non-vegetarians are now turning to vegan diets. And I'm sure that you've also been leading that kind of diet, and you've maintained your health as a fast bowler. Who can represent vegetarianism other than you? Because I've seen the way you really exercise. It's really wonderful. And also a lot of mental stability is so important when you're exercising. Very, very good.
Yes.
And of course, another thing that I have seen, in the dressing room, the moment, when the team wins, the earlier days, there was some kind of, decency, discipline in the way you used to celebrate. Whereas over here, the amount of crackers and hashtags and this was never heard of during your times. It was a very sedate way of celebration. Also, it is an interesting and intense game, and fans make it that way. But today, when you celebrate, it's totally different from the way you celebrated in the 90s. So, do you think that it's good or it's bad?
Well, see, everything has to evolve. So, cricket has evolved. The celebrations also has evolved. As I said, when we won 2007 World Cup in South Africa, the T20 World Cup, inaugural T20 World Cup, the kind of reception we got when we landed in Mumbai was just astonishing. It's just unbelievable. We were paraded. We were taken on an open top bus from the airport to Mumbai. It was as it is. They traveled from the airport to South Mumbai would take say about an hour and a half. So going on an open top bus and going slowly, it just took. It looked like as it's going to be an eternity sort of a thing, So it just went on and on. But the amount of people who showed, so much of happiness and the way they welcomed, the way they celebrated, I think it was just tremendous, I would say. So it keeps changing. Why 2007 World Cup? Talking about the 96th match that I played against Pakistan in Bangalore itself was a sight to watch. I mean, after we won the quarterfinals against Pakistan, when Pakistan were really on top of us, actually, they could have finished the game in 45 overs. Okay, but then we went on to win that match and we qualified to the semi-finals. And the celebrations that was happening outside the stadium, Chinnaswamy Stadium, was something unimaginable. I would say there's thousands and thousands of people on the streets enjoying and celebrating the win. So it keeps evolving. I think we need to give that to the people for supporting us, for being there with us and cheering us all the way to win a match.
Absolutely. And you're a very renowned bowler, Venkatesh. But if I were to tell you, if it was not for cricket, what would your other choice be as a profession?
Well, look, in my school, I also was in the air wing. So I in fact, I wanted to be a part of RD parade those days. I mean, my choice was to get into the defense. I mean, preferably the air wing, but that was not the case. So I could qualify to the RD parade. So that, I mean, there my dreams ended as far as my um, you know the air wing, continuing in the air wing. I mean, so see, even your dreams keep changing, your goals keep changing. There is for some people, they have very early in their life itself, the very early stage itself, they know what they want to be, an engineer or a doctor or a sportsman or a scientist or something like that. For a lot of us, I think their goals keep changing, and later on in life, maybe by 18 or maybe by 20, they would get to know what they are good at, and that's something which they would like to pursue. So in my case, cricket happened quite late, so I never played junior cricket at all for the state, the under 19 we call it as. So that's the stepping stone. So when I was in college, as I said, I was just playing first division cricket for my club, Durwani Cricketers, and from there I just went to I represented my college, and from there I went to play the university. Went for university selections, represented Bangalore University. We became champions of South Zone in '89. It was, yeah. So that was 19 years. So I never played any junior cricket at all for Karnataka, and from there I graduated to the next level. That's a Ranji Trophy and so on. So that's how my journey took. So in my case, it was just when I was 19. That's when I got to know that yes, I do have some talent in bowling, in cricket. So I need to pursue this game. So that's how it happened.
So Venkatesh, you've really, been passionate about cricket to the extent that even though the period of active cricket for you has been short, you've really etched your name in the annals of cricket, and you still remained as one of the greatest fast bowlers in India. And at the same time, in a game that has given everyone a very short time and is really cruel, that if you don't perform in one match, they just drop you like a potato. You managed to remain up, and you've really earned a very good name in cricket. But you continued giving your skills to the youngsters. So I would like you to speak to our viewers, because there will be many, many small Venkateshs around who would like to hear from you as what does it take in 2021 to become the Venkatesh of this century. So would you be able to tell them and advise them for this current century, how should they be doing and what should they not be doing to reach what you have reached? Not that all of them can be 6'3", but even of whatever height they have, how can they actually achieve what you've achieved?
Look, Dr. Kamini, I think I would say one thing is that there's going to be, I've already touched upon the aspect of challenges in life, the disappointments, how you need to be handling the disappointments, and how much self-belief is extremely important. So that no matter what challenges it is, no matter how hard your journey might be, or the disappointments that you might face, it is extremely important that you believe in yourself, believe in your ability, and you have to keep getting up and keep working hard, making sacrifices, committing to that goal. So obviously, it's not just about cricket, as I said, or it's not just about sports. Anything that you do, as I said, earlier, being a doctor or an engineer or an architect or whatever you want to. So without sacrifices and without being committed to that purpose, you can't achieve anything. So it is very important to do that, to commit and be honest to yourself. See, you can. I mean, if you're trying to fool someone else, actually you're not fooling them. You're fooling yourself. So try and be honest to yourself. And yes, you want to reach a certain height. You might not reach. Everybody cannot play for India, but at least you will have that sense of. I mean, you won't be having a regret that look, if I had done that little bit, probably I could have achieved that. So do everything that you can, and after that, I mean, you can't control a lot of things, right? In a lot of ways, I was fortunate. I was lucky, and by God's grace, I played for a certain time. But there are a lot of players who have played a lot more than me. There are a lot of players who have not played so much as me. But it just happens. But what is very important, at the end of the day, if you know that you have given your best to achieve what you want to, what your goal was, and still if you don't achieve, fair enough, you won't have any regrets at all. But what is important, as I said, is to make sure that you give your all, or make sacrifices, commit, and be passionate about what you do.
So that was Mr. Venkatesh Prasad for you. You can see that passion in his eyes, and you can also see that practice makes a man perfect. Not forgetting women as well, because I think we've got women's cricket there side by side doing very well. But what is important is that you have to believe in yourself. Yes, Mr. Venkatesh Prasad, I agree with you. In all walks of life, unless you believe in yourself and you are true to yourself, like you said, you will not be able to achieve anything. And that's why the tagline for Masterclass is, why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? And that extra is within you. And as Mr. Venkatesh Prasad has said, keep on trying. Whether it is failures or it is success, you learn from both. So that was Mr. Venkatesh Prasad's masterclass for you, and looking forward to seeing you in the following week with another guest for the Dr. Kamini Rao's masterclass. Thank you very much for viewing.